We have been looking into renters' rights all week. Tonight, we are tackling a pretty uncomfortable topic, infestations.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty, actually. Bugs, mice, other creatures you do not want in your house with you. Many times, the problem can be solved with a call to the landlord or, if necessary, the city or town.
Channel 3 Chief Investigative Reporter Matthew Campbell finds out what happens when that does not solve the problem. We do want to warn you that some of this video may be hard to watch.
The Hartford families who rent units in this multifamily home on Martin Street have been living a nightmare.
Infested cockroach.
They see you cook and smell the food, they're jumping in your pot.
A relentless infestation of roaches and, as we'd later discover, mice.
Oh, there is a dead mouse underneath the wall.
There are 3 floors in this building. The renters on the 1st and 3rd floors brought us inside. Shamisha Anabinet's rent is $900 a month, and she's rarely here. This video of dozens of dead roaches in a refrigerator full of food says it all.
We gotta throw it out.
The 1st floor, where Gordon Wiggins lives, is not much better. We bought roach traps and took them to the renters to set them up. When we returned a week later to see what we got,
They're big, they're small, they're different shapes.
there were dozens of roaches, and we also discovered the 1st floor apparently has a rodent problem.
Yes, the far from the right side.
The Wiggins family says 7 were caught in a span of 7 days. This one was caught less than an hour after we set the glue traps.
Do you know your rights when it comes to bugs?
Not really.
Not completely.
We brought that question to Judith Rothschild, the director of blight remediation for the city of Hartford. She tells us, foremost, renters have a right to a safe and livable home. That means no rodents and no roaches. She's going to be our guide. If you find yourself in a similar situation, she recommends calling your landlord first. If the landlord doesn't act, you can escalate the complaint to your town. The general rule is landlords usually have less than a month to respond.
Generally in Hartford, the time frame is 21 days or less.
On Martin Street, tenants say the landlord has been responsive by often spraying for bugs. In fact, after our first visit, this letter on the door greeted us on our 2nd visit. Exterminators were coming in again.
He tried his best, but it's not good enough.
When the easy solutions don't work, an intervention is needed. Rothschild says get your city or town's housing department involved. In Hartford, Rothschild's team will do an inspection. If things are really bad, you may need to find temporary housing. Check your lease to see who pays for it.
Code enforcement, where it is deemed necessary, could order that.
The tenant-landlord relationship is a two-way street. Renters need to do their part.
Tenants should keep their place reasonably neat and clean and should make the place so that the infestation isn't invited.
Shamisha feels the problem at this building is too far gone.
I think that the problem here isn't going to be fixed until this building is gutted and redone.
Now, we reached out to the landlord and didn't hear back, but to their credit, the city says they have been trying to stop the infestation. Some who are dealing with an infestation say their solution is to not pay rent, but experts say non-payment could lead to an eviction. But if you do want to withhold rent, you should pay into an escrow account held by a court. Remember, if you have questions, we're going to be holding a Facebook Live right after our broadcast. We're going to get those questions in front of an expert, so join us at 6:35. For now, live here in studio, Matthew Campbell, Channel 13 News.